Barath, the Trump administration has said that they can raise about $600 billion a year annually with these sweeping tariffs across countries. Some are 10%, some are up to 50%. What is the cost, though, to the United States?
So we did the modeling, and it turns out that we'll be within spitting distance of the figure that Navarro threw out. But tariffs are really a sort of regressive tax. So for your low income and working class households, well, the prices of household items, everyday items, are going to go up. Milk, eggs, meat, vegetables. And you tend to spend a larger fraction of your disposable income on some of these sort of everyday items. So they're going to be hit hard, and they're going to be bearing the burden of the increase in tariff. And on the other hand, sort of wealthier households or folks, well, they're going to benefit disproportionately from the tax cuts because they were paying more to begin with. So you're going to see sort of distributive effects, and in a way, the fiscal burden is going to fall on those much lower down the income ladder, and it's going to benefit those who are already benefiting disproportionately from the current system.
How much are prices going to be raised by, you think? And then how much is growth going to slow?
Yep, so we did the modeling, and thankfully we already had a dummy model up before the tariffs come because we are locked and loaded. The tariffs, as they currently are packaged, they will shave a percent of the US GDP. One whole percent. It seems like, oh, like what is that? Well, that works out to something roughly over 300 billion. It's not a small number by any stretch, but the real problem is going to be the upward pressure on prices, which is inflation. And based on a model, we see inflation will rise by roughly over 9%. But really, the problem is that real wages are going to lag a full percent behind inflation. You're going to shrink the economy, you're going to increase prices, but you're also going to decrease real wages of folks. And all under this presumptive aim of renewing the American economy.
Bear, we keep hearing about crazy price increases, iPhones that could be $1,500. Some say they could be $3,000. Is that true? Is that realistic? Are people really going to have to pay that kind of money? And are people really going to end up paying, an extra 10, 15, 20 or more $1,000 on the cars that they buy?
It really is going to depend on the sort of elasticity of the product, whether the person producing it is going to eat the cost, or they're going to pass it on to consumers.
And we all know how that ends up.
We all know that ends up. So I think for consumer facing products or which have high elasticity of demand, you're going to see that being passed on to consumers.